So, hello Chrigel, this is
Hello,
Sarah from Heavy Mettle.
Very nice to meet you.
So nice meeting you, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And what I told Matteo and Fabienne to give you a heads up is that Heavy Mettle is about rock and metal, but also about personal growth, resilience, introspection. So the questions are, I like to...
Resilience.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's metal, you know, it's going about that game of words. But anyhow, now that you have the heads up, the questions are gonna go maybe a little bit that way, down that path. And thinking about the moment, looking back to the moment that you started this whole thing, this whole adventure called ELUVEITIE. Now that you're here in this current moment, looking back to that, how do you feel and what do you think about the process of ELUVEITIE itself?
Okay. Well, first of all, obviously, I'm looking back with a lot of thankfulness and very, very grateful and for the fact that we're still here, that we're still around, and that we all can still do our passion as our profession as well, which is an incredible privilege, I would say. And apart from that, apart from thankfulness, I think the band just developed in a very natural way, like in the sense that you never know what will happen tomorrow. So I mean, 20 years ago, I probably would not have expected ELUVEITIE to be what it is now, musically or whatever. So I think a band or even music itself it's a little bit like it has its own soul, and it's a little bit like your own baby.
Amazing.
So
I know what you mean.
And it just grows and develops, and you never
on
know
its own.
if it turns right or left or straight ahead. It just does what it does. You know? But on the other hand, I also have like how do you say that? Somehow, but not in a negative way, but somehow the whole thing feels more earnest to me somehow. Actually, I've just been talking about that to Fabi a while back. I mean, the lyrics I write, they were always like earnest, and they always were very important to me personally, but at the end of the day, I never really cared if someone ever reads them or something. Like it did not matter to me. And over the years, my lyrics kind of also developed and changed. They more and more they developed into a more like spiritual direction, and obviously also became a bit more grown up because I got older, and in that sense, today we are automatically in contact with a lot of people. If we put out a new single, within a few days there's millions of people who listen to that song and maybe listen to the lyrics or read the lyrics, and in that sense I kind of developed the feeling of, how do you say that? Maybe almost something like responsibility or something like that.
And maybe also fulfillment, or?
For me personally, yeah,
But you feel responsible about the message that you share.
That's what we have been talking about, Fabi and myself, because if you're doing something or if you're saying something, and automatically there's so many people that, at least, I don't know if they're listening to what you say, but at least they can hear what you say. That's kind of a privilege not that many people do have, but I think it also comes with a responsibility.
Totally.
And it's probably also because of that our last few releases deliver much more of like, you know, thoughts from pagan spirituality and stuff like that, that I personally think are important in these days that we live today.
Necessary.
Because
I shared that.
that's good to hear.
Yeah, I shared that.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a completely fucked up world, and there's so
We
many.
need that knowledge and to regain the knowledge that was there before and we forgot about.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even so much knowledge, it's just the simple things, you know?
Yeah.
But the way we build our societies, our own societies kind of lost so many things, like even just being nice and stuff like that, you know?
That's why introspection is so important to me, and that's why I place it in my media, because
Okay.
through introspection you get to wonder about yourself and about society and about those things that we forgot about.
Yeah.
So it's that's why I told you I share so many things that you're saying, and about the spirituality that you're placing your focus on. Would you say that was something that grew into, or you have always been spiritual? Was also your personal process?
Yeah.
Like your songs?
I mean, I've always been like kind of a spiritual person, or I've always been open to that and interested, and like even when I was a kid. But obviously, you also develop, you learn, you make experiences, and of course, your own mindset, your own life, your own everything just develops, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, also that. And I mean,
Weird question. Would you say that sometimes you're not learning or evolving, but remembering? Weird question, but you know what I mean,
no,
right?
It's not a weird question.
It's about rebirth.
It's many people say things like that. Personally, I don't know, and I don't even care too much. As long as I develop, I don't care why that is. If it's because I remember or because I learn, doesn't matter. As long as I learn, you know.
Since you have a song called Rebirth, I thought it was just perfect to think if it's your way of thinking or it's a song.
Rebirth actually represents a lot of how do you say a lot of the pagan mindset, and it's basically about dying to yourself. It's at the end of the day, it's about the death of your own ego, and
go to the core.
To resurrect as the soul that
you really
were
are.
made of.
Yeah.
That's basically what the song is about.
I also, I don't know if it's the same name in English, the triqueta, the symbol that it's...
the triskel.
Not the triskel, the one that it's like a moons, the half moons.
The Asian one. Like
Yeah. And it's about rebirth.
Yeah,
The one
okay.
that it's about birth and death and rebirth and born. And the symbol is the one I use for my media.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there, so just a thought. So not to take much of your time, because I could go farther and farther talking about
I'm
this.
not in a hurry. I'm just sitting around waiting.
Waiting for a concert or something like that, right? In a few hours. How do you feel about this coming concert in a few hours? Do you normally get nervous or
Not really, no.
not anymore? Anyways, or
I'm
never?
never really that nervous. It's more technical things that sometimes make me, like when we put on a new production, like with lights and pyros, or like things like that. And sometimes these things are programmed.
Yeah.
And when we do that for the first time, I was like, oh my god, like
What's gonna happen?
Hopefully everything works and hopefully nothing explodes. And
Okay, but it's not the kind of I'm nervous because I don't know what's gonna happen with what I do. You get nervous with maybe the outside stuff and the technical stuff.
But even there,
It's just
being
the first
nervous
time.
is a big word for that. Like, it's okay.
To me, it's a really common verb and adjective. I get nervous for everything.
Okay.
So I would like to be not nervous. And speaking about live concerts and everything, and feelings. How did you feel about not being able to go to the US tour? Smash.
I can't even say. It was so weird. Yeah, probably weird is the best word, because I can't really describe the feelings. I mean, of course, I wasn't just sitting at home and like thinking, oh my god, I can't be there, because like I had a kid to take care of, and so that took most of my focus.
Everything is okay now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting there. But yeah, it was just surreal and weird. But I have to say, like, after the first 2 shows, like with these guys, she was tour managing that tour, and we were talking, like, when I realized how well it works and how supportive the fans are and what an amazing job my girls and guys do, and also the guest singers, I was like relieved like crazy, and also very proud, I have to say, because
That's so nice.
My bandmates they just gave their like more than their best, you know, and I was really proud of them. Yeah.
That's so nice to know. And what would you say about the band that you're sharing your moments, your musician moments now, that the members that you have current in the band? How do you feel about the thing that you created
What
in
am I
form?
supposed to say now? They saw.
I don't know. I have to say we have 1 minute left.
No, I think the term family puts it pretty much best. Yeah, feels like a family.
Nice. So nice. So, thank you for your time, and
Thank you for
you
your
know, he told me that he was not in a hurry, but Tamara is the boss here right now.
Tamara is always.
So, thank you it's been really nice talking about this. I could go forever, as you can see.
Same here actually. Yeah.
So, but I will have to be so grateful forever for this, because I wasn't expecting it.
Oh.
And I'm looking forward for this concert, because I really admire what you have created. So thank you for
Thank
that.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.